Rob, you're probably the one who got us into the doing crosswords, and now we do crosswords a lot, almost every day. But it's something that we've been able to do even if we're not physically in the same place. Hopefully, people enjoy solving it, or at least
Trying.
as much fun like looking at the clues and interpreting it as we did coming up with some of the clues.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to the wedding crossword of Liz and Ferris. We got Liz and Ferris on video here. We figured we would just talk through the puzzle, and then after that, maybe we'll have a time lapse of when we made the first version of the puzzle. Anyway, hi Liz, hi Ferris.
Hello. How's it going, Rob?
Doing pretty good. Looking forward to your wedding, and I hope all the people watching this video are having a good time at your wedding.
Yeah.
So here's the crossword that we worked on for a while. We had a couple of drafts back and forth. We worked on the cluing together. Should we just take a look through this thing and maybe we should start with the themers?
Yeah, let's I think there's the four big ones, the four long fills that we had picked out. I think we played around with a couple of things that we wanted to include in the themers. I think Disney World was going to be in there. I think that was a given.
Crossword construction is hard.
Yeah, it's true that crossword construction is hard. I mean, I can actually share a list of potential themers if you are comfortable with your guests.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
So here's a list of themers that were considered. Now the thing is that the themers need to be symmetrically matched. Right? So in the current version, we have Oregon Ducks and Disney World, which are both 11 letters, as well as Blue Devils, and we have Blue Devils twice.
Wow, we really wanted Blue Devils.
Good, Duke. We have Blue Devils and MasterCard, which both have 10 letters. So you need to, if you're gonna do a traditional 180-degree rotational symmetry puzzle, you need to have matching ones. So for example, Tipsy Ducks in Love has two issues. One is that it's 16 long, which is wider than the puzzle, traditionally 15 by 15. The other is that it has no match, right? Yeah, John Harvard, I don't know why it's up here it's probably because
it's number one.
Because John Harvard's very special. Most important person at this wedding is the spirit of John Harvard, I would say. That's an 11. I guess it would have matched well with Oregon Ducks, but
I like that we ended up picking themers that there's a little bit of parallel, with the Oregon Ducks and Blue Devils, and then MasterCard and Disney World. It's like work and play.
Yeah. Work and play, and then
two sports teams.
Your favorite sports team and Ferris's favorite sports teams. Yeah, so MasterCard, Disney World, Oregon Ducks, and Blue Devils were the sort of what we started with in this puzzle, and you'll see that in the time lapse of the construction. And then we tried somewhat hard-ish. We tried when we could to include some other sort of bonus themers, which are also in purplish pink. We've got ogre. You want to explain why you have ogre in here?
I think it's really important that people know ogres are not just villains. It really bothers me in crosswords that ogres feel like have a negative PR, and you got to balance that out. But also, Ogre Magi is my favorite Dota hero by a really wide margin.
We've also got some classic things that are sort of wedding-y. Carrot is kind of wedding-y in that there's a wedding ring involved. Vow is definitely wedding-y. I mean, we definitely chose this here. Got a white wedding dress.
Mm-hmm.
I will point out that I do not know for a fact that the dress is white.
As of filming, Ferris has yet to see the dress. You know what I mean?
I also think the dress is white.
We've also got the both location in Disney World. Actually, what is your favorite park in Disney World?
Hollywood Studios, probably, but Epcot recently had made significant strides with the new Cosmic Rewind ride.
If you've ridden Cosmic Rewind, it is a life-changing roller coaster.
And I like this clue. I think I wrote this clue.
Yes.
This John Travolta at the Oscars reference.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's likely we will play Let It Go at some point in the evening.
There you go. Spoiler alert if it hasn't been played yet at the wedding. Yeah, let's just see what else. I mean, some of these things, right? When you're filling a crossword, some of these things you just have to settle, right? Yeah. Or pick from a bunch of equally bland options.
Yeah.
Kind of a nice clue. Military brass ?
question marks indicate that there's some sort of pun,
Sorry.
usually, or like a non-literal interpretation of the clue. For people who don't do crosswords.
We try to clue it at the level of, say, like a Monday New York Times. So we try to clue it as like a beginner-friendly puzzle. But still, if you're not familiar with crosswords, then
Yeah, and I think there's some words that are used in crosswords way more often than in real life, like Ren. I think Ren you see in crosswords probably like more often than anything else, unless you like study birds for a living, I think.
eons also is like right. Did we end up cluing this as Japanese food? So we've got like
we got some Japanese food references in there, like where we could like how often we are there and how much we eat Japanese food. I think it is a good
precursor to honeymoon.
Oh right, honeymoon. Honeymoon is happening in Tokyo.
Throughout Japan, a couple days in Tokyo, a couple days in Hokkaido.
Nice.
And then in and around the main island in Japan, where we will. I think the last time we were in Japan, we planned our trip in terms of meals and like what type of food we wanted for what meal, and then organize the trip around that. We haven't done that yet, but Sherlock Holmes was the first real book I read. I would say it was like the first book I owned that was like more than 100 pages long.
Oh,
wow!
It was like terrifying when I got it because someone got it for me as like a present, and I was like, this thing is like 8 times thicker than anything else I've ever read.
I appreciate the Australia reference. All the time that you've spent there.
Yeah. You spent a lot of time in Australia? I've never been.
I used to travel there for work on a somewhat regular basis. When I was living in DC, I think there was a span of 2 to 3 years where I was in Australia, maybe like 3 times a year.
Wow. 3 times a year.
Usually I was there for like about a week, although there was one time where I spent, I think, I want to say I spent 50 hours traveling there and back and 70 hours on the ground. And that ratio was not good. Would not recommend.
But you can say, "G'day, mate."
G'day, mate. This is a hard clue.
Yeah.
This southwest section, I think, could potentially be a stumbling block for some of your guests.
Control-Alt callback.
Control-Alt callback. Right. There's a reference here to 4 down, which happens sometimes in crosswords. And if you started at the puzzle at the top, like most people do, C58 across, you have to like look all the way down here. Frankly, it's a bit annoying, but I guess that's how we did it.
I think it's not too bad if there's just 1 or 2. I think if there's too many in a puzzle, it gets kind of annoying. But we kept it to just 1, I think.
Just 1. Yeah. We have like a nice smattering of like crossword tropes throughout, right? Here's this our other sushi. Japanese food restaurant reference, which I like. Are you gonna play A Whole New World the wedding?
Might be in the pre-ceremony music list.
I think there'll be
the waiting music. Yeah, it's not really like a dance floor song, but it might pop up in either cocktail hour or the pre-ceremony, probably.
I think one of the earliest ways I scored points with Liz was the fact that I knew the words to A Whole New World.
Yeah, that was our first date. You
wow.
knew all the words.
Oh, where was your first date?
Cheesecake Factory.
Cheesecake Factory? Does that count?
That
definitely counts.
It's a highly uninspiring and not promising social interaction at Cheesecake Factory. So
it's okay.
Great way to start a relationship. It still worked. Wait, what did you do before or after Cheesecake Factory? Did you have some sort of event in addition to a meal?
No.
It was just
there, I think. Or did we meet there?
I don't remember. This is a wedding.
It is. We tried to tastefully include wedding clues. We don't want to like hit people over the head with it. We want it to be like an enjoyable crossword. But where possible, we included. I like this question mark clue on TPs.
Oh yeah.
Mobile homes.
Hard. I think that's hard.
It's hard. It's hard for
everyone will know it once you get it, but
yeah. Everybody make sure to try a Tipsy Ducks in Love and also read the little explanation panel. Is that
Sign.
Yeah, it's like a
Sign.
little.
sign?
It'll
Sign
be
of
like
the
a
bar.
little framed thing, probably. Yeah.
And take a look at the little wooden ducks. A Korean wedding gift traditional wedding gift.
Yeah, there's a duck theme throughout the wedding.
We do have some Chinese food references in this thing too, I'll say.
Yeah, red beans.
Yeah,
and chard.
red bean soup.
And you can certainly have their red beans things at dim sum also.
Mhm.
Yeah, not my favorite, but very traditional.
Also not my favorite. The Oregon Ducks.
Yeah.
I do think this clue is hilarious. Of course, Pac-12 is not dead yet, but I will say that both the ACC and the Pac-12 scene should be on shaky ground in the next 10 years.
It's a little rough. Need better media deals.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a themer, kind of.
Yeah. It's clued as if it were a themer. There will be whiskey at your wedding.
There will be whiskey at our wedding.
It's a shared love of Rob's and Ferris's.
If you see me at the wedding, buy me a whiskey from the open bar. What goes in the Tipsy Ducks?
I think we told them to use a Whitford.
Tripe, quite delicious.
You always get tripe when you go to dim sum.
Always get tripe. And also always get chicken feet. I've stayed in your spare bed many a time. Thanks for the hospitality. This is a nice call, also a delivery person. Kind of hard.
Yeah.
That's tricky.
I think these tricky ones that are short are actually harder because you have less to go off of.
Yeah.
In some earlier version of the puzzle, this entry was MIT. I don't know if you remember this. And I really wanted to clue it as like
The other
know.
favorite school.
no, best school in the Boston area or something like that. I'm guessing it wouldn't have made it past post, but it's how I would include it. Shout out to all you Harvard alums watching this video. Now, how do you think this clue is going to play to the audience at your wedding?
I think it will be strongly segmented by age. I feel like people who are younger than 10 are going to do pretty well on it. I have high hopes.
Greatest Harvard alum of all time? Elwood, surely.
It was the only way we could get Harvard into this puzzle.
Can you name a more iconic Harvard alum?
Mike Ross is a fictional Harvard law student.
What
If
is
you
that
watch
even?
Suits.
Oh, I've never watched Suits, but
He is a fictional law student.
Yeah, surely I can't even think of anybody else who went to Harvard other than Elwood, so let's move on. Ending on Vow, I think, is a pretty, starting with Carrot at one across and ending on Vow at the last down is kind of a nice bookends to a wedding crossword.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was a lot of fun putting the crossword together, and then I think Rob, you're probably the one who got us into the doing crosswords, and now we do crosswords a lot, almost every day, whenever we can, and we try to catch up when we miss it. So it's something that we've done together a lot, and something that we've been able to do, even if we're not physically in the same place, because we can kind of do it online, which has been a really nice thing that we've done together a lot. I think there's a reference to this on our wedding website as well. But so it's kind of nice to see the other side and see what goes into crossword construction. So it was cool. Hopefully people enjoy solving it, or at least
Trying.
have at least as much fun like looking at the clues and interpreting it as we did coming up with some of the clues.
Hope you're all enjoying the wedding, those of you who are watching at the wedding.
Why are you watching this at the wedding? Go back to the wedding.
Introverts out there, it's okay. You can get a Woodford Reserve and then go to a quiet area and watch this video. Watch some other videos while you're on my channel.
Comment, subscribe.
Thank you, Liz. And we'll see you all at the wedding.
All right. Bye, friends.
Bye.